Long before maps gave names to places, before borders were drawn with ink and ambition, there existed a story carried only by the wind. It spoke of a city without an age, hidden in the heart of the desert. A city that did not belong to the world of daylight. A city that appeared only when the moon was whole. The elders called it Lunarith, the city that remembered everything humanity tried to forget. And every full moon, the desert listened. The desert was never empty. It watched. It waited. It remembered. By day, the sand stretched endlessly beneath a merciless sun, dunes rising and falling like frozen waves. Caravans crossed it carefully, guided by stars and prayers, knowing that one mistake could erase them forever. By night, however, the desert became something else. The wind softened. The stars burned brighter. And when the moon reached its full circle, the sands seemed to breathe. Travelers whispered of strange lights on the horizon, of distant bells carried by no caravan, of shadows shaped like towers that vanished when approached. Most dismissed these tales as tricks of exhaustion. Others knew better. Idris had devoted his life to forgotten things. Old manuscripts filled his tent, maps with no legends, poems written in dead languages, fragments of travelers' journals that ended mid-sentence. He believed that history was not lost, only hidden by fear. Unlike the treasure hunters who chased gold, Idris sought understanding. And every source, every half-burned scroll, pointed to the same impossible claim: a city that appears only under a full moon. Most scholars laughed at the idea. Idris packed his belongings. At the last oasis before the deep desert, Idris met the nomads. They spoke little, but when he mentioned the full moon, their faces changed. Fires crackled uncomfortably. Even the camels grew restless. "The city is real," an old woman finally said, "but it is not kind." She explained the rule passed down for generations. The city shows itself to everyone, but it only reveals itself to the worthy. Those who entered seeking wealth were never seen again. Those who entered seeking power returned empty-handed, their memories broken. And those who entered seeking truth, they returned changed. Idris reached the heart of the desert just as the moon rose, vast and luminous. At first, there was nothing. Then the sand shimmered. Light spilled across the dunes like water, and shapes emerged: walls, arches, minarets carved from pale stone. Streets unfolded where moments before there had been emptiness. The city stood in silence, complete and impossible. Idris felt no triumph, only awe. He stepped forward. Inside Lunarith, the air felt heavy with memory. Buildings bore signs of many eras at once, ancient columns beside elegant arches, symbols from forgotten civilizations etched into doorways. Water flowed through narrow channels, reflecting moonlight like liquid silver. No people walked the streets. Yet Idris was not alone. Whispers followed him, not voices, but emotions. Regret, love, loss, hope. The city was alive. At the city's center stood a vast circular hall. As Idris entered, the walls began to glow, revealing scenes, moments from human history long erased. Cities burning, libraries destroyed, promises broken, dreams abandoned. "These are what you forgot," a voice said. A figure emerged, neither young nor old, woven of moonlight and shadow. "I am the Keeper," it said. "And this city exists because humanity chose not to remember." The Keeper explained the city's purpose. Lunarith was built by those who believed memory was sacred. When humanity turned toward conquest and greed, the city withdrew, appearing only under the full moon, only to those willing to face truth without desire. Why show it at all? Idris asked. "Because forgetting is a choice," the Keeper replied. "And so is remembering." But knowledge had a price. Idris could leave with truth, or stay, becoming part of the city's memory forever. Idris thought of the world beyond the desert, of wars repeating the same mistakes, of knowledge buried because it was inconvenient. "I will leave," he said, "but I will carry the memory." The Keeper nodded. "Then you will remember what others cannot." As dawn approached, the city began to fade. Walls dissolved into light. Streets returned to sand. The whispers softened into silence. Idris stood alone beneath a paling sky. Only his footprints remained. By sunrise, even those were gone. Idris returned to the world, changed. He wrote books no one fully believed. He spoke of a city that appeared at the full moon, not to reward greed, but to test the heart. Some laughed. Some listened. And on certain nights, When the moon is whole and the desert grows quiet, travelers swear they see a glow on the horizon. A city that appears. A city that vanishes. A city that waits for those who seek truth, not treasure. Because the lost city was never truly lost. It was only waiting.